We convinced a creepy internet predator to literally snort a mixture of baking soda and vanilla sugar by telling him it was a cheap, homemade alternative to cocaine. And the craziest part? He actually did it. He gave himself a bloody nose, ended up in the clinic, and sent us a furious email. But wait, we weren't done with him yet. We actually got him to do it again. Let me take you back to the fall of 1999, the early days of the internet. For you younger listeners out there, HTML chat rooms back then were the ultimate Wild West. There was zero moderation, zero accounts, and absolutely no personal data logged. You just typed in a screen name, and boom, you were in. Because it was completely anonymous, it was a playground for toxic, abusive creeps who faced zero real-life consequences. They would abuse the whisper function, which was basically an early version of DMs to target girls and young women. To survive, us regular users had to police the chats ourselves. We formed our own private community called The Attic. We had nicknames, a bulletin board, warning people about known creeps, and coordinated attacks to kick predators out. My girlfriend at the time, who I actually met through this community, was famous in our chat for being absolutely ruthless when dealing with these creeps. The running joke was that she was more wicked than the devil himself, and oh boy, she was about to prove it. Enter our villain. Let's call him Farmer Bob. He was a sneaky guy who somehow slipped into our safe community. Soon enough, younger female members started reporting disgusting, unsolicited messages from him. My girlfriend created a brand new profile pretending to be a naive, inexperienced new user. She started chatting him up, acting super interested. It didn't take long for him to start bragging. He told us he lived in the countryside and claimed to be this wildly rich cattle rancher. He also bragged about wearing wooden clogs and made some incredibly disturbing comments about what he liked to do to women while wearing them. He was a disgusting human being, but he was also completely oblivious. After a bit of back and forth, my girlfriend decided to fast-track the destruction. She dropped the act of being shy and pretended to be extremely eager to meet up with him physically, but she gave him one massive condition. She told him she would only do it if he provided cocaine, claiming it was her ultimate trigger. Now, remember, an hour ago, this guy was bragging about being a millionaire rancher, but suddenly, he completely folded, admitting he couldn't afford it. He even casually mentioned his parents were out of town. The rich cattle rancher lived with his mommy and daddy. This is where my girlfriend's wicked genius really shined. She typed back, "But Farmer Bob, didn't you know? If you mix 3 parts baking soda with 1 part vanilla sugar, it gives you the exact same intense rush as pure cocaine, but it leaves a sweet taste in your mouth. And it's so incredibly cheap." We sat behind the screen laughing, fully expecting him to realize we were trolling him, but no. This absolute buffoon replied saying he forgot about that homemade trick and thanked her for reminding him. She told him he needed to make a batch immediately and test it that night to make sure it was good quality before she booked her train ticket. He promised he would go mix it up right then. We logged off, laughing our heads off. 2 days later, we get an all-caps email. "You made my nose bleed? You bitch." I had to go to the clinic. He was absolutely raging. He accused her of tricking him, naturally. But hold on. Reddit family, that is not even the best part. We couldn't just let it end there. We replied and gaslit him, acting totally shocked. We told him he must have mixed the ingredients wrong. But to really sell it, we made an outrageous claim. We told him that my girlfriend used this homemade nose candy all the time to fuel her side hustle. What was her side hustle, you ask? We told him she produced and starred in amateur German spanking films for European tourists. To prove it, we literally shot a fake, blatantly ridiculous movie trailer. My girlfriend's younger brother played a random guy on a bed. His friend laid face down on his lap, wearing a wig to look like my girlfriend. They were fully clothed. The friend was getting spanked with a wooden kitchen spatula, while I stood behind the camera, aggressively clapping my wet hands together to make slapping sound effects. We dubbed over it with absolute gibberish that sounded vaguely German. The video quality was atrocious. The acting was a complete joke. It was so obviously fake that a toddler could have figured it out. But Farmer Bob, he bought it hook, line, and sinker. He replied, completely convinced that he was watching a real, exclusive underground German film, and started begging us to sell him full copies. We told him we absolutely would, en one condition. He had to try the homemade baking soda cocaine one more time, and that was the last time we ever heard from him. We never got another email. My guess is he finally snorted that second line of vanilla sugar, sneezed a cloud of white dust, and realized his entire life was a joke. Honestly, Getting a creep to put himself in a clinic with baking clothes is a massive W in my book, but I want to hear from you guys. If you were in our shoes back in the 90s, what fake recipe would you have given this guy to teach him a lesson? Let me know your most creative ideas down in the comments. And if you want more hilarious acts of pro-revenge, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got more crazy stories coming right up.